Hey y'all! Pokemon Red using only Eevee was unbelievable, and this week is sure to be a hit. It's the beginning of the year, so it's time to hit the gym by trying to beat Pokemon Red using only one Hitmonchan. As usual, the rules are I can only use Hitmonchan in battle, and I can't use any items in battle. By the way, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and check out more of these videos on my channel. Hitmonchan is one of the two Pokemon you receive in this game by defeating the Fighting Dojo in Saffron City, the other one being Hitmonlee. Crazy that someone had the bright idea to open a Fighting Dojo in the Psychic City, but hey, what are you gonna do? Hitmonchan's entire design is all about punching, so its level up moveset is mostly punching moves. The only problem with that is that none of them are fighting type moves, and 3 of them are special moves in this game, and Hitmonchan has terrible special. Speaking of terrible stats, look at Hitmonchan's! These stats are lopsided and embarrassing. Just like my Hitmonlee ended up being a pretty decent Pokemon, but I wonder how Hitmonchan will fare. Either way, I'm ready to throw my hat in the ring, and if you think I can't make decent boxing puns, here, hold my purse. Off at Professor Oak's lab, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Squirtle with Hitmonchan so that a rival will pick Bulbasaur. By the end of the run, the rival's Venusaur will know Razor Leaf, a move that always critical hits. And since we don't have a clear advantage against any of the starters, I figure this one will be the most difficult to handle. Despite my doubts, I want to start off the new year with a little optimism, so I nickname our Hitmonchan, I Think I Chan. Hitmonchan starts off with Comet Punch and Agility. Agility boosts our speed and can be used later for badge boosting shenanigans, and Comet Punch is a pretty decent move for this early in the game, despite its disappointing accuracy. As it stands, the rival's Bulbasaur doesn't even make us break a sweat, but like most New Year's resolutions, our first trip to the gym is going to be a real pain in the ass. As far as Brock's gym goes, you already know it's going to be a struggle. Hitmonchan only has normal moves, so Brock's rocks resist as always. It doesn't help that Comet Punch has both low accuracy and BP. The only upside to Comet Punch is that it is a multi-hit move, meaning there's a good chance to string critical hits together. In this game, multi-hit moves continue to critical hit every turn afterwards, so I guess you could call the multi-hit move a multi-crit move. Eh? The other good news is that each hit has to do a minimum of 1 damage, so Hitmonchan on average does more damage with Comet Punch than an equally base powered single hit move would do. When it hits though. Seriously, I can't tell you how many times this move missed, requiring a reset. Hitmonchan repeatedly misses Comet Punch, and it's not like we can do anything to fix its accuracy. And even if Hitmonchan could wear glasses, it wouldn't matter, because after all, boxing is a contact sport. After traversing Mount Moon, I make it to Cerulean City and take on the rival Bubs. His lead Pidgeotto is super annoying by spamming Sand Attack to lower our accuracy, which makes using Comet Punch even more frustrating. Along the way in Mount Moon though, we picked up a TM for Mega Punch and taught it to Hitmonchan, which is a really strong move, but also inaccurate, just like Comet Punch. Can I catch a break? I mean, we won the battle, but had a joke for here that I can't remember. Guess I forgot the punchline! Now it's time to take on Misty at the Cerulean City Gym. Her Starmie is super fast and hits hard, so I make sure to set up an agility so we can outspeed it. And this is super important because this battle is critical. And by that I mean this battle is nothing but critical hits. Hitmonchan, more like Critmonchan. Hitmonchan rains down Mega Punches like an annual snail enthusiast convention. Or as I like to call it, a giant slugfest. After beating Misty, I head to the SS Anne for another battle with the rival Bubs. Hitmonchan is a much higher level and has a huge upgrade with the move Body Slam. It's an absolute staple in these runs, and for good reason. It's really strong, and even has a chance to paralyze the opponent as long as they aren't a normal type. Like, I don't know, let's say a Pidgeot. Not that I'm foreshadowing or anything, I would never do that. For now, just enjoy Hitmonchan wreaking havoc with Body Slam before the game catches up with our strength. Or as I like to call it, featherweight than never. Now that we've rocked the boat, it's time to take on Lieutenant Surge at the Vermilion City Gym, and our Body Slam really rails his rodents. Hitmonchan outspeeds all of his Pokemon, and Body Slam 1 KOs Voltorb and Pikachu. And while Hitmonchan doesn't have very great special, even Raichu's Thunderbolt isn't too scary. I was so confident this would happen that I didn't even heal before the battle. You know, technically, I don't need to heal before each gym battle, so just like a boxer refusing to punch with their left hand, I'm exercising my rights. After crawling through the darkened rock tunnel, I arrive in Lavender Town to take on the rival Bubs in the Pokemon Tower. Body Slam continues to bash Bubs' Pokemon, and that's pretty cool. The one notable part of this battle is that I level up and replace Comet Punch with Fire Punch. Comet Punch is no longer useful since it's so inaccurate, and while our special stat is pretty low, I only trust my punches as far as I can throw them. And against rock types, while they might resist fire, they also have such low special stats that Fire Punch actually does more damage than Body Slam. I'm heading on over to the Celadon City Gym to take on Erica, the Grass Gym Leader, so perfect time to use the move Fire Punch we just learned, right? Well, no. Her Pokemon take more damage from Body Slam, although only the Victory Bell is a 2-hit KO, so there are plenty of opportunities for Hitmonchan to be put to sleep by Sleep Powder. Luckily, Victory Bell only goes for Wrap, and the Vileplume misses Sleep Powder and then goes for Mega Drain. And thank goodness too, because being put to sleep is basically a knockout. Hitmonchan makes Erica's plants wither away. Well, I guess they were in the Welterweight division. After beating Erica, I head to the Team Rocket hideout in the Celadon City Game Corner to defeat Giovanni to get the Sylph Scope. What I mentioned earlier about Fire Punch doing more to most of the rock types is demonstrated here. Even with 3 badge boosts to our attack stat by raising our speed with agility, Fire Punch still does more damage than Body Slam, as you can see from the footage. We beat up Giovanni harder than Mike Tyson tried to beat up Evander Holyfield, and you have no idea how hard it is for me to not make a joke about that here. After all, a good pun is irresistible. Actually, you're right. That joke bites. Now it's time to take on Koga at the Fuchsia City Gym. Hitmonchan resists his poison moves, and Body Slam continues to do really great damage. You know, for a Pokemon all about punching, we sure seem to be doing a lot of wrestling. Hitmonchan? More like Hitmonslam! Okay, that's the last one, I swear. We managed to get to the Weezing with full health, and while our Body Slam doesn't do too much damage, Weezing goes for a self-destruct, even though this means he'll lose the match. Like boxing though, it's not always about winning. Sometimes, you do things for the glove of the game. After beating Koga, it's time for yet another rival battle with Bubs in the Sylph Company building in Saffron City. This battle is the epitome of weird timing. I know I'm going to want badge boosts with agility, but I level up during the battle, so I have to wait until after knocking out the Gyarados to do so. Gyarados is pretty tough though, but when we knock it out, we level up and then learn Thunder Punch, a move that's double super effective against Gyarados. Could've used that a minute ago. Oh well, at least now we outspeed and 1-hit KO the Alakazam, which is otherwise a huge problem. And Venusaur wastes its chance to Razor Leaf on going for Poison Powder. It's like Bubs and I are both throwing haymakers and missing each other completely. I guess it really is hard to box without good timing. And speaking of timing, after beating our rival Bubs, I quickly move on to the next battle, or as I like to call it, Bub and Weave. It's Giovanni time, and you can see how useful agility is for badge boosting here, when after 3 badge boosts to attack, Body Slam is now a 1-hit KO on the Nidorino. After that, Kangaskhan misses a Comet Punch. Wonder what that's like. And then Ice Punch gets the Rhyhorn to chill out. Actually, having Thunder Punch and Ice Punch is really great coverage, despite Hitmonchan's slinky little special stat. Body Slam just misses out on the 2-hit KO on the Nidoqueen, which is kinda like weighing in for a fight half a pound overweight because you stopped at McDonald's on the way there. Or as I like to call it, being disqualifies. With that out of the way, I head to the Cinnabar Island Gym for what was a first try victory despite a wild set of circumstances. I'm free to set up all 3 agilities for badge boosts against the lead Growlithe because it will only ever go for agility. Blaine has good AI, so he wants to go for only super effective moves, and since fighting is weak to Psychic, he will only ever use the Psychic move Agility. With badge boost in hand, Hitmonchan goes to town on Blaine's team until the Arcanine lands a Fire Blast and burns us, which halves our attack. And Hitmonchan goes from a shoo-in to the underdog in this fight, but manages to pull a come-from-behind victory by getting both a critical hit to bypass Burn's attack drop and a full paralysis at low health to keep Hitmonchan in the fight. Things looked down for the count, but there was still a sugar ray of hope after all. Now that we've got the Volcano badge to boost our special stat, I decided to take on Sabrina at the Saffron City Gym. She has psychic Pokemon, which are the ultimate weakness of fighting types. Luckily, they have pretty low defense, so Body Slam is really strong here. We're able to one-hit KO the Kadabra, Mr. Mime survives but goes for Barrier, so it goes down, but Venomoth gets in a Psybeam for half of our health, and it's not even same type attack boosted. Just imagine how much damage the Alakazam is going to do. Or that's what I would say had it not gotten fully paralyzed and never had the chance to attack. Winning on full paralysis might seem cheap, but if you want to try this, hey, knock yourself out. Now it's time for the final showdown with Giovanni for our final gym badge, and this battle was super easy. Now with the ability to badge boost our special stat, Ice Punch does massive damage to Giovanni's rock and ground type Pokemon that are double weak to it. Even after we level up and lose our badge boost though, the Rhydon is still manageable with Ice Punch, since it only goes for useless moves like the one-hit KO move Fissure that will never work because we are faster. And you know what they say, float like a butterflydon, sting like a bee. Before we can take on the Elite Four, we have to battle the rival Bubs once again, and this battle was the first one since Brock where we really struggled. The closest attempt I got at this level was one where Ice Punch froze the Pidgeot, letting us set up agilities for free. Otherwise, it will randomly choose between its other moves, which are all super effective, and while agility is preferred, sometimes it goes for wing attack, which actually hurts. The Gyarados can hit us with massive Hydro Pumps, and even a Dragon Rage does a decent chunk. We level up though and lose our badge boost, and even with a full paralysis to cheese out the Alakazam once again, we're just not able to defeat the Venusaur this level. And I really didn't expect Bubs to do so much damage. Man, he really Pacquiao's a punch! So what do? I gain one extra level and try again, and it goes just as badly as usual, except this time, the Venusaur completely whiffs the battle by spamming Growth to boost its special, but it never actually attacks us. I mean, talk about throwing in the towel. With that debacle behind us, it's time to take on the Elite Four, and you can see how the stats are halfway decent, except for the special. But hey, luckily for us, the Elite Four isn't mostly full of special attackers. Oh wait, it is? Fiddlesticks! Hitmonchan's move pool is the same as always, and if not for Lorelei, it wouldn't need to change, but more on that later. Speaking of Lorelei, she's up first, and her Pokemon are all a combination of water and ice type Pokemon. And this would be the perfect time to have a decent fighting move, but the only one Hitmonchan can learn is Submission, and that deals recoil damage, so that's a no for me, dog. It's pretty easy going until we get to the Lapras. Dugong will always spam Rest because of its good AI, so it's a good opportunity to get Agility Badge Boost, and you can see how much of a difference it makes for Thunder Punch pre and post Badge Boost. Cloyster has pretty low special and takes a ton from Thunder Punch, and the Slowbro will spam Amnesia the same way Dugong spams Rest because they're both psychic type moves. We level up after the Slowbro though, losing our badge boost, and while Jinx's frail defense lets us knock it out with Body Slam, the Lapras is far too bulky and hits way too hard with Blizzard. Oscar de la Hoya, my god! So, remember earlier when I mentioned we needed a move change? Well, this is it. I say Bon Voyage to Agility and replace it with Mimic so that we can copy Amnesia from the Slowbro to boost our special. Without the Agility badge boost early in the battle though, you can see we're doing much less damage to the Dugong and the Cloyster. But once we're past them, it's pretty much game over. Slowbro will never actually attack us, so we're free to maximize our special stat with Amnesia. And after that, Body Slam takes care of the Slowbro and the Jinx. And while an Amnesia-boosted Thunder Punch doesn't want to KO the Lapras, our special is so much higher that we hardly take any damage from Hydro Pump. So, things worked out. It makes sense though, since they say the key to any workout is getting a good pump. With Lorelei defeated, it's time to take on Bruno, which is normally where we see Hitmonchan in these runs. His team is a pretty easy victory. Against his lead Onix, we're free to mimic Harden to maximize our defense while badge boosting our other stats. Body Slam isn't a one-hit KO on his Pokemon, but the only way things can go badly is if Hitmonchan uses Counter. But we almost never see that move. Oh hey, Counter! Well, no need to learn that. We've got all the tools we already need for victory. Hitmonchan might not be a great Pokemon, but hey, at least it's better than Bruno. You think you're a Machamp? You ain't nothing but a bum! Next up is the Elite Four member Agatha. Hitmonchan can't use Body Slam to hit her Ghost, so we're stuck using our low special to fight her Pokemon with high special. The best way to actually fight her is to use Mimic to copy Gengar's Nightshade, and use that since it does damage equal to our level, and that's actually pretty good. The only problem is that Agatha randomly switches her Gengar in and out, so sometimes we use Mimic while Golbat is in the battle, at which point Wing Attack is our best option. And anytime Wing Attack is your best option, you know you're going to have a bad time. Alright, nothing to do but play the Agatha lottery and hope for the best. Nightshade is a 3-hit KO on each of her ghosts, and sometimes she'll use a super potion which effectively negates one of our Nightshades. So I really have to be careful and conserve BP since ours is really small. Body Slam is great for taking down the Golbat and Arbok, but once we get to the Arbok at low health, I forego using Body Slam and use Nightshade just in case Arbok switches into Gengar. And I had to reset this battle so many times, feeling trapped by bad luck with pent-up rage building and nowhere to go. It's like having to fart in the middle of a boxing match. By the way, if you're feeling gaseous clay, try taking some Muhammad Ali. Next up is the final Elite Four member, Lance the Dragon Master. And if you've seen any of my other videos, then you should have an idea of how this next battle is going to go. This is basically a battle versus Lance's Gyarados and Aerodactyl, since his other 3 dragons will never damage us. Sometimes the Gyarados one-hit KOs us with Hydro Pump, but when it doesn't, Thunder Punch makes quick work of it, and then his Dragonair spams Agility. This lets us use Mimic to copy Agility, and with that we have come full circle. The only thing that can go wrong now would be Aerodactyl landing a critical hit Hyper Beam, but you can't do that if you're frozen. So just like Mr. Freeze from that god-awful Joel Schumacher Batman movie, the dinosaurs all get killed by the Ice Age! Finally, it's time to take on the champion, our rival Bubs. We're at a decently low level for this battle, so I'm thinking maybe we can get lucky and actually win right now. Well, that's easier said than done. First things first, his Pidgeot is a problem. Since it can't be paralyzed by Body Slam, and the chance for Ice Punch to freeze is only 10%, it has plenty of chances to demolish us with Sky Attack. Oh, ow, okay, so even when we do manage to get past the Pidgeot unscathed, all it takes is a single Psychic from Alakazam to end the battle with an early round knockout. It's like buying a $100 pay-per-view just for the fight to end in 35 seconds. So I keep leveling up, and I usually don't even make it past the Alakazam, but even when I do, the Gyarados and the Arcanine are quick to end things. So I purposefully waste time against the Rhydon, hoping it will use Leer or Tail Whip to badge boost our other stats. If we get them, we can one-hit KO the Gyarados and do more damage to the Arcanine. The only downside is that our lower defense means we take more damage from Hyper Beam and Takedown, and we usually don't have much health left over when we get here anyways. It's bad news, but it does remind me of something that my grandpappy once said to me. He said, going down the road, we get a boy. I never could understand him. After all, he was a southpaw. Okay, so there's one thing we can do besides blast all the way to level 100. At level 70, I finally have enough bulk to take a Wing Attack from Pidgeot and a Psybeam from Alakazam, which gives me the best odds to Mimic Recover from the Alakazam and take it down before we get knocked out. Then I can freely heal against the Rhydon, and if we take a Leer or Tail Whip in the meantime, it's no big deal. Gyarados does big damage with Hyper Beam, but Recover lets us heal it off, and if we take a takedown from Arcanine, we just recover to heal, and the recoil to Arcanine makes it easier to knock out. Once the Venusaur comes out, I know that it's a 3-hit KO with Body Slam to take it down. Venusaur raises its special with Growth, but Razor Leaf critical hits ignore those boosts, giving us plenty of opportunities to finish it off and win the battle. And with that, the challenge is over. Things got off to a rocky start, and the battles really started to Drago at the end there. Ultimately, I still think Hitmonlee is a better Pokemon, and I could rattle off a whole host of reasons why Hitmonchan is objectively worse. I've got them all written down right here, in a pugilist. As always, I want to thank you all for making it to the end of this video. These videos are a lot of fun, but also a lot of work, so I really do appreciate it. There's a playlist on my channel where you can check out the rest of my Pokemon Challenge videos as well. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you'll know right away the next time one of these episodes is uploaded. And if you want early access to these videos and to have your name listed in the credits, consider becoming a member, or by joining on Patreon. And let me know in the comments what other Pokemon you want to see, and I'll probably do it. Next week, I'm going to try to beat Pokemon Crystal using only one Shuckle. Until next time,